You won't believe what my family did to me yesterday. 1 minute, I was fully wrapped up in planning my sister's wedding, helping pick out dresses, writing my speech, dreaming of the day we'd finally be close again. And then, out of nowhere, I got a cold, harsh message from my parents saying I was uninvited. No calls, no explanations, just a text that hit me like a punch to the gut. Honestly, I felt like I was erased, like all those memories and plans didn't matter anymore. I kept replaying it in my head, wondering, what did I do wrong? I was heartbroken and confused, like suddenly invisible in my own family. Then, the one person I thought I could always count on, my sister, the bride, showed up at my doorstep, tears streaming down her face. She begged me to forgive her. She looked scared, broken, trapped in a nightmare she couldn't escape. If you're going through something like this right now, comment the number 1 so I know I'm not alone. Like this video if you've ever felt invisible inside your own home. And subscribe if you believe even forgotten stories deserve to be heard. This isn't just drama, it's raw, painful, and real, and I'm just getting started. My name is Naomi, and I used to think my family was close. My sister, Lily, the bride-to-be, was always the star of the family, bold, confident, and full of fire. We grew up sharing everything, or so I believed, but lately, cracks started to appear. Mom and Dad are old school, obsessed with appearances. Dad rarely says much, but when he does, his disapproval is unmistakable. Mom's sharp eyes miss nothing, especially anything that could embarrass the family. I could feel their silent judgments growing heavier at every family dinner. One evening, after a tense gathering, I caught Mom glaring at me across the table. "Naomi, you really think you're helping by being so outspoken?" she whispered sharply when she thought I wasn't listening. I forced a smile but felt the sting. Lily, sitting beside her, avoided my eyes. Mark, my husband, noticed too. After one dinner, he said quietly, "You've changed. They're treating you like you don't belong." But I wanted to believe it was just stress. Even my best friend Sarah noticed the distance. "Naomi, are you sure this wedding is still a good thing? You seem off," she said gently one night. I laughed it off, but her concern lingered. At work, a colleague dropped a casual remark. "So, your family's really on board with the wedding?" The tone made me uneasy. "Of course," I said, forcing confidence. But inside, doubt gnawed at me. Texts from Lily became fewer. One night, I sent a heartfelt message. "I'm here if you need me. This is supposed to be our happy time." No reply. And then the invitation list arrived without my name. Later, I confronted Lily. Her voice trembled. "Naomi, it's complicated. Mom and Dad think you're causing drama. They don't want anything to ruin the day." My heart dropped. "But I'm your sister," I whispered. "I'm family." She sighed, tears in her eyes. "I know. I want you there, but I'm stuck." That night, I sat alone, the silence heavier than ever. The perfect family image was cracking, and I was caught in the fracture. It started like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I was scrolling through my private Instagram when I saw a screenshot of a joke I made about weddings turning into family drama circuses. It was silly, harmless, meant only for a few close friends, but now it was plastered all over my family chat. My stomach dropped. I opened the group chat and saw the messages pouring in, cold, judgmental, cutting, so disrespectful. Is this how she feels about us? Why now? I tried to speak up, carefully explaining it was just a joke, but my messages were ignored. Instead, the silence grew heavier. Then came the text from my mom. "We've decided it's best you don't come to Lily's wedding." My phone slipped from my trembling hands. No warning, no conversation, just an order that felt like a punch to the gut. I called Lily immediately, desperate for answers. Her voice was tight, her words clipped. "Naomi, I'm sorry. They're scared you'll cause a scene. I can't risk it." My blood boiled. "Cause a scene? I'm your sister, not the enemy." She hesitated, then whispered, "It's not that simple. They're controlling everything. I'm stuck." I felt something inside me snap. I wasn't just hurt, I was furious. The family I loved was deciding my place like I was a problem to be erased. And then, the worst, a message from Dad. "Think about what's best for the family. Don't make this harder." That line still haunts me. It wasn't just exclusion, it was a threat. I sat there, the phone burning in my hand, tears blurring my vision. I realized this wasn't just a silly joke gone wrong. It was a war I never signed up for, one where love came with conditions, and I was losing. I thought I had hit rock bottom the night they told me I wasn't welcome at my own sister's wedding. But nothing prepared me for what came next, the truth that shattered every bit of trust I had left. It started when I accidentally overheard a hushed conversation between my parents and Lily, just hours before the ceremony. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, I swear, but they were whispering about me like I wasn't even there. "My daughter is a liability," my mum hissed. "If she shows up, she'll ruin everything." "She has to be kept away," Dad said coldly, "for the family's sake." Then Lily's voice, breaking with guilt but firm. "I don't want to do this, but I can't go against them. The image matters more than anything." My heart stopped. My own sister, me closest blood, was planning to stand by and watch me be erased, all to keep up appearances. I confronted her that night, tears burning in my eyes. "How could you? How could you let them treat me like this?" She looked at me, eyes wide and scared. It wasn't my choice. They threatened to cut me off everything. I was trapped. And then came the last blow. A text from my parents, sent to the entire family group. "If Naomi tries to cause any trouble at the wedding, she'll never be part of this family again." I realized then, it wasn't just exclusion, it was a full-on exile. No apologies, no second chances. I felt broken, betrayed, but beneath it all, a fierce rage started to boil. How could the people who were supposed to love me more than anyone else be the ones who stabbed me in the back? That's when I knew the battle wasn't over. It had only just begun. When the dust settled, the silence that followed was deafening. I wasn't just excluded, I was erased. Invitations stopped coming, phone calls fell silent, and suddenly, the people I once called family treated me like a stranger. The warmth of childhood memories and the laughter from family gatherings faded into cold whispers and averted gazes. Lily, the sister I thought was my lifeline, vanished without a trace. Our conversations that once stretched late into the night were replaced by a hollow absence. It was as if I was losing her all over again, once at the wedding, and again in the vast, suffocating distance that now separated us. Mom and Dad cloaked themselves in pride and denial, preaching about family honor, while tearing apart the very fabric of our bond. Relatives picked sides silently. Some offered feigned sympathy, others turned away as if the pain was contagious. Even friends slowly drifted, unwilling or unable to confront the mess that tore my world apart. I was left alone with my thoughts a storm of betrayal, confusion, and unbearable loneliness. The nights were the worst, when the house was quiet and memories screamed the loudest. I kept asking myself if I had truly done something wrong, or if I was just a casualty in a battle I never chose to fight. The anger simmered beneath the surface, hot and relentless. But beneath that fire was a deep, aching grief. I mourned not just the loss of a family, but the loss of the sister I thought I knew, the home I believed I had. In that crushing silence, I realized something love without acceptance is nothing but an illusion. And maybe, just maybe, this heartbreak was the first step towards discovering who I truly am, beyond the shadows of a family broken and betrayed. The silence after the fallout wasn't just empty, it was suffocating. Invitations stopped coming. Calls went unanswered. Even Lily, my sister, faded into silence, leaving a void that swallowed all hope for reconciliation. But the story didn't stay silent for long. Soon enough, my pain and family drama exploded across Reddit, stirring up a storm of opinions. Some stood firmly by my side. Cutting your sister out over a meme? That's cold and cruel. Naomi deserves so much better. Others tried to see it from the family's point of view. Weddings are stressful. Sometimes you gotta make tough calls to keep the peace. Not saying it's right, but it's real. And then came the truth bombs and sarcasm. Classic family honor nonsense used to isolate and control. Toxic as hell. Plot twist. Naomi's the drama queen, and everyone's just had enough. This reads like a Netflix drama, waiting for the reunion episode, or the meltdown. The reactions were loud, messy, and raw, just like my family. It was clear this wasn't just a personal fight anymore. It was a wildfire burning through the internet, and nobody could look away. So here I am, caught in a whirlwind of love, betrayal, and shattered trust. My family, once my safe haven, feels like a distant memory. My sister, the person I thought would always stand by me, became part of the painful divide. And the people who should have protected me chose silencer, worse, exclusion. But I won't tell you who's right or wrong. This story isn't about casting blame. It's about the messy, complicated realities of family and loyalty. Now, I want to hear from you. If you were in my shoes, what would you do? Would you fight to mend broken bonds or walk away to protect yourself? Who do you think is truly at fault here? And most importantly, could you forgive when the wounds cut this deep? If this story moves you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video to support those feeling invisible. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you believe every story, even the painful, forgotten ones, deserves to be told. Your voice matters. Comment below and let's talk. Because sometimes, healing begins with simply being heard.